Hello, hello, good morning. Hello, everyone. It is July 8th. I know that because yesterday was 7/7, and when I wrote that on stuff, I was like, 7/7. That's a nice, little easy to remember number. So anyway, yesterday was 7/7, and so today I am in here working. The first thing I need to do, my space is badly in need of a overhaul, and that's okay. I feel like my space is perpetually in bad need of an overhaul. But that's okay. We're gonna get it done. I am putting away. I'm working on my atomic cocktail party, my personal shoes. I will do several that are like the kit is live, the kit is up. I don't have a ton of them, but I personally have a bunch of very weird little minis that I have saved up over the years. So I'm going to do some shoes that look like the kit. And I'm going to do some shoes that are a little bit more personal to me, that include like weird little minis that I have personally collected over the years, and things that I have molded that wouldn't necessarily make sense to put in a kit because, you know, I could put 9 different colors of clay in that kit and it would cost $500 or whatever. And clay isn't that expensive. I'm exaggerating. I'm exaggerating for comedic effect. I could put a ton of clay in there and a ton of instructions, and you might not necessarily be comfortable with making the stuff that I have made yet, but I think it would be really awesome if you wanted to work on your polymer clay skills. For that, I would recommend starting with like the mini king cake kit, the bread in the St. Joseph's altar. You know, there are some kind of very reasonable starting places, and I do have videos for doing kind of, you know, baby's first polymer clay experience, which would be like king cakes are very straightforward as a starting place. And there are some kind of good, maybe I'll do some videos, some sort of side quest, because I've got so much time. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do some separate videos. I do not have enough time to make all the videos I want to make, sadly. But that's a good problem to have. So I have some things that I have personally sculpted that are going to go on these really fancy atomic cocktail party shoes. And I was thinking about maybe doing a separate live, like in the Patreon, so it doesn't kind of get mixed in with the shoe marathon. And I would love to show you guys like some of that stuff, some of the things I've made. So like, for example, I bought these a while ago and I love them so much that I am going to have to stock them in the glitter store. So they are coming to the glitter store. I feel very bad showing you guys anything that you can't like buy, but at the same time, I do have a lot of stuff, weird stuff that I have personally collected that I just do not stock at the glitter store. So I bought some of these a long time ago. They are these little like dessert things, and they're very cute. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll put a little dessert in there or something. But then I started working on my atomic cocktail party, and I was like, oh, that's really cute to make it, to give it some levels. So again, it is not like this in the kit. I do not have any of these components in the kit, but the cake stand really is cute. And I have some thoughts on how you could kind of make a cake stand, but that's sort of a separate can of worms. But anyway, so I've put this gelatin I made. It came out, I was trying to do like a salmon, like a shrimp colored mold, and it came out extremely hot dog watercolored. And instead of being mad about that, I made this crazy little, I sculpted all the little hot dogs. Do y'all hear? Can y'all hear the bird in my fig tree? The birds and the fig tree, it's a constant. I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like I'm the dude going after the not groundhog? Was it a groundhog or a gopher in Caddyshack? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? I feel like that guy, just losing my mind and doing that. All right, this is going to be a bagel table, but not today. The bagel kit is also almost about to be out, so I am making the demo. Okay, but yeah, I did like this. That's really, I think, cute. I did this one, and some of the kits have this egg and lime jello. They're all different gelatins in each kit, but some of them do have that lime jello egg. And this one, I piped the whipped cream around, and I made with just yellow polymer clay cut into chunks. I just made like chunks of Velveeta because I thought that was really funny. So it's got eggs and lime jello and kind of salmon colored mousse at the bottom, and then a ring of maybe mayonnaise, maybe whipped cream, who knows? Mayonnaise, whipped cream with chunks of Velveeta in it, and then a little cherry on top. So she's gonna go on there. And then I've got this little one that is like just a rose, you know, and I put a tiny little flower in there because I think it would be pretty to make like a rosé jelly and then stick a whole flower. But like I have stuff like this where I have, it's so hard to see. I feel like I got to do the influencer thing. I have sculpted little pigs in a blanket on a pink plate, and I'm going to put a little dollop of yellow paint to make mustard on that. And so I'm getting started on that. You guys can maybe see kind of how that's looking so far. And then I have these things I made that were incredibly difficult to make. They were super laborious, but I have a few of them that I am going to put on my cocktail parties. I made these little resin like garnish thingies, and I've already put the cherries because I needed to put like the juice. So I'm going to put slices of lime, lemon, and orange. I'm going to put the little slices in there very carefully. So that's going to be my little garnish tray. And that's going to sit, I'm going to put my garnish tray, and then I'm going to put some fancy bottles. So that's like the cocktail section. So I am working on that. I'm going to move her gently, 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 because I'm not like totally locked in on the placement on her yet. Still working on that. And the other thing I'm doing is, so in the cocktail party set, this is so nuts. I do think I need like a full just hour of this. You know, I'm not sure that that would be interesting to anyone but me, but it's fun to document your process, even if it's only for you. This is a gelatin that's in some of the kits. It has pineapple rings and then cherries and then like iceberg lettuce. It's like a light green shred glitter to make the iceberg lettuce, and I love it. So when I'm putting the gelatins on trays, I do find the easiest way to do it is to glue my finger to it, is to flip it upside down, put a bunch of hot glue on the bottom, and then put the serving thing underneath it. Rather than trying to hold, like, I wouldn't recommend putting it and then putting it onto the plate. I would recommend flipping it over, putting the hot glue, and then gluing it. So just FYI. But I've got some pretty little, I made this during the class to sort of demonstrate. That's kind of pink with some big strawberries and some little whipped cream, and it's got a flower in it. I think that's really cute. She's going to go on somebody. But I'm doing like a mix of sizes. In the kit, it comes with the buttons that you make into platters. So it comes with an assortment of colors. I personally do have some little plates, so I will probably mix in some of my little plates. I've got, yeah, I'm messing around, you know, a lot's going on with those. Those are going to be very, very fun. Oh, what I was mentioning is, this is a little bit nuts. It's all a little nuts. In the kit, you get a little red lobster, a little boiled lobster. I found this, what they are in the kit are like these earrings that get taken apart. And so that is kind of how we make the little lobster, because it's to scale. Very important component of doing miniature scenes is that you have to repurpose a lot of stuff, because dollhouse stuff is so expensive because it's so tiny. So if you buy all your stuff, dollhouse stuff, and you make a little scene using all stuff you bought from like a dollhouse supplier, it would be very cute and very beautiful, but it would be very expensive. And I don't mind spending money on things, but I like to, you know, I like to find cool little economical shortcuts. So I like to repurpose buttons into plates instead of paying for the dollhouse plates. I like to repurpose stuff. And so the lobsters in the kit that go on ice with lemons, those are earrings. And I did, while I was researching and kind of hunting around and figuring out what worked, I did find these like pink, I'm so off topic. I'm 10 minutes into this video and I haven't worked on anything relevant to the shoe marathon, but you know, y'all know how I get. So I did find some lobsters that were like lobster earrings, but a little bit of a different color scheme. And I think because I have all these pretty because my color scheme on my atomic tables is so like pinks and blues, I think this is going to work. So I have this little tray from this little plastic like tea set, and I've got these pink lobster. I've got one pair of pink lobsters. So it's a jeweled pink lobster, and I might add even more jewels to her. I would love to give her some little lobster eyes. And so I've made her tray of ice, and I started adding some rhinestones to her, some just clear AB rhinestones to make the ice look really sparkly. So I'm working with that. This is another one that is in some of the kits. It's got vegetables on the top. It's a mix of vegetables in gelatin. You can see them suspended in the gelatin, and then cream of asparagus, and then marmalade. That's one of my favorites. Okay, but anyway, oh, what I was saying. Yeah, these are my clear rhinestones. So I'm gonna go a little, I'm gonna color outside the lines a little bit on these, but I am also making some that are gonna look basically like the kit. And the one that's on display with the kit, obviously, looks like something you could make from the kit. I'll save my little bell for something. I don't know what, but something. I have a box of weird miniatures, and I just love weird miniatures. So this is going to be my time. Part of me wants to just collect and hoard weird miniatures indefinitely. But I also think, you know, you gotta, I suffer from this thing of like, I buy stickers and I don't trust myself to put them on anything. This is some little croissant that I sculpted. Croissant. And this is one single hot dog that I molded for some reason. It's just a hot dog. Anyway, so yeah, I have a big weird box full of weird miniatures, and this is going to be my time to force myself to use the stuff that I have saved, make it into something. So I'm going to have a couple like special cocktail party shoes. I don't know yet what I'm going to do with those. Maybe something fun. Maybe those will be nice donation auction shoes. These are in my embellishment pile. The kit comes with a beautiful selection of garnishes, but I have these mini sprinkles. They are like fig cookie sprinkles for making the St. Joseph's altar. Yeah, fake round fig cookie sprinkles. But if I put them on a little gelatin, it sort of looks like I embellished it with gumballs, which is a thing that makes sense to me in the context. And I have this mix of St. Patrick's Day sprinkles. Again, what I like about these is I think the tiny little round clay dots, they're supposed to be, I think, gold coins, but I think they look like little butterscotch candies, so I'm going to do those as garnish as well. Anyway, that's where my head has been at for a little bit. So I'm loving those very, very much, but I do want to balance. I want to make progress on my marathon shoes as well. So today I'm going to work on my marathon shoes a little bit. Oh, this is my, these are glass beads. They're checked glass fruit. And so if I want to, I can put a little fruit bowl on my party spread. I just have to be careful to not put it where you can see the hole. So that's a little lime. I feel like it doesn't focus. That's a little lemon, little orange. So, you know, I put some of those on my St. Joseph's altar, put some lemons and some fruit and stuff. But I'm also I've got the option to put them. I also think it's kind of funny to take, I'm almost done, I swear to God. I know, me and the gelatins. I also think it's funny to take one of the little gelatins and put like a whole lime in the middle. I just think that's funny. I think that's a funny garnish to just stick a whole piece of fruit in there. Something about that entertains me. I wish I had some little pineapples. I think a whole pineapple stuck in the top of the gelatin would be really funny. But isn't the orange really funny in there? I don't know. These are the things that entertain me. I can neither excuse nor explain it, so I do not even try to. All right, and those are my mini ice cubes. The kits do come with the tiny little ice cubes, and the tiny little ice cubes are how I do my champagne on ice and my lobster on a bed of ice. Okay. Okay. But thank you for joining me for 15 minutes of me just being a weirdo with my little gelatins. I love it so much. That makes me very happy. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So I did get, all right, that's my crystal glitter. All right, I got glitter snow to put on my bagel. I'm wondering if I should do a proper video on that. Probably. And then I've got Ripper to Shreds for my bagels. And then I've got Rusty Faucet for some of my, it's a really good kind of fun coppery brown with some sparkles in it. Rusty Faucet is a great, like, for if you're trying to do wood, but you don't want to do straight like chocolate brown, you want to do something a little fun. And I've got some different, I bought my fences so that I can show you guys how we do the boots, but that comes a little later. So I'm ready to go on that, and we might start prepping for it, but not quite yet. I do have my glitter snow to put on my bagel, but I don't think I have a disposable spoon. I could use a gloved finger though, that would be fine. You know, there's so little in there. I want a spoon to spoon it out. And I'm also gonna do multiple bagels. So I don't know, should we work on the bagel shoe? Should we make a little progress on her? I guess it would be nice to have the demo done. This is, I bought another 4-inch, like I said I would, because I have one snowball who needs her snowball. And so what I did last time is I cut too far in. This time I'm going to be careful and not cut too far in. Ooh, these scissors are trash. Those are trash scissors. All right, so I'm cutting like the bottom, and I'm cutting really conservatively because I am once bitten, twice shy, but you can always cut more, you can't cut less, as I showed you guys with my foam ball that was half cut off. All right, I still need to cut more, but I started really gentle with that when I took like the bottom quarter off of her. So I'm gonna cut. Hey, Fanny. So I brought a bag in here that I was using to transport stuff. So there's like a fabric, like a canvas bag, and it's kind of thick. It's got lining in it. And the bag is, I dropped it on the floor inside the craft room because, you know, God forbid I pay attention to anything for more than 5 minutes. But I dropped that bag right in my craft room. And Fanny is like, ooh, don't mind if I do. So she is, instead of doing her little showgirl routine in front of the camera, which y'all know she loves to do, instead of doing that, she is snuggled up in a little donut, sleeping on that bag, just as happy as a clam. She also had kind of a weird, it's been a weird couple of days for Fanny because we had, you know, people in the house, which always is like, what? People in the house? And also we had fireworks. I mean, we didn't have fireworks. Fireworks happened. And she's pretty chill, but fireworks is a lot for a little Miss Lady. So she did have some firework weirdness. We live near City Park, and so she really hears it. And of course, there's always that thing where someone is like, oh, I didn't fire all my fireworks on the 4th. I think I'm gonna fire them on July 5th, and then maybe a few on July 6th. And it's like, what are you doing? Don't do that. I'm just taking the little bits that I just cut out and kind of caulking some of the holes in this one with the scraps. Every little scrap is useful. I do want to cut her down a little bit, but I'm just kind of shaping this a little bit rounder. She was really made out of scraps, so she's pretty rough. I want her to, the scoop to be just a little scoopier. And I know it seems strange. I'm gluing scraps on and then cutting them off, but I am sort of shaping it a little. I do want it to be, I don't want it to be perfectly spherical because if I do that, I lose the like realism, but I also want it kind of scoopy. So I'm just shaving this down a little bit. Y'all see it's just a little more of a scoop now. Hopefully y'all can see. I feel like sometimes I come in here and I'm like, there we go. I did this, I did that. And as you can clearly see, now it's this. And I wonder if it actually shows or if you guys just trust me. Or if you don't. If I do it and you're like, that doesn't look anything like what she said. So, little scraps. It's sort of that thing from like Wallace and Gromit where the sheep goes through the shearing machine and then it turns the wool into a sweater and then they put the sweater on the sheep who's had all his wool cut off. I feel like I'm putting the scraps on and then cutting them off and then putting them back on. But there's a method to it. There's an objective. We're going somewhere. We have a goal. There we go. That's looking good. I'm pleased with the way my sweet treats are coming out. I've done a fair number of these. I've done a lot of ice cream scoops and snowballs over the years, but it's been a minute, so it is kind of fun to revisit it and see kind of, it's always interesting to go back to a design you've done before, even if you make a lot of changes sort of naturally, but when you go back to something you've done before, it is interesting to see how you have changed. The things that used to be hard for you aren't, and you have new questions to answer. And I know I'm sounding very like profound and philosophical considering it's like fun, sparkly craft time, but I think that is true. I think it's a cool way to witness your own personal growth as a crafter, is to revisit something you've done before. So I would say if you're feeling like stressed about ideas and trying to, I feel like that's a common refrain that people are like, I love making shoes, but I have a little trouble coming up with ideas. Because sometimes people come to craft culture and they just sort of walk around looking at stuff. They aren't necessarily trying to source anything. They don't have a design in particular in mind that they're ready to make. They're just kind of looking for inspiration, which is very cool. I'm very happy that people feel that way about craft culture, that they come to craft culture to feel inspired and motivated and like get some idea, get the creative juices flowing. That is awesome. So never feel bad if you come walk around craft culture and don't buy anything. I get it. It's cool. So yeah, she's looking pretty nice and shapely now. I think she's probably ready to get a little bit more. She needs another coat of Snickerdoodle. I was going to wait and see if I could find the foam letters to write muses on the cone. I'm going to make one more attempt to find foam letters at the glitter store. So today I'll just paint her bottom maybe. Oh, and I saved the little cup of white paint, but there was a hole in my bag, so I used it. So sorry about that. I didn't want to lose the paint. I didn't want to waste it, so I went ahead and did it. So sorry about that, y'all. Does she have any holes? A few little holes. And the thing about using the foam is it's very non-linear. Like I cut one and then use the scraps and then come back around. So I know we're kind of hopping around a little bit. But I think you can probably see at this point that I've kind of cut the scoop into pieces and then made that ring. That little ring around the bottom really makes it look like a scoop. And if you're doing a scoop like on top of a pie, or you're doing like a little standalone scoop, ooh, new. You're doing like a little standalone scoop, that ring around the bottom, I'm telling you, that's really where it comes together. Those little pieces that you squish into sort of roughly a little oval or square, and then you make the thing all the way around. That to me is really where it looks. I'm very torn about whether I want her to be, somebody made the suggestion of doing a funfetti cake, and I love that. I think what I'm going to do is make her the chantilly cake with the berries for two reasons, both because I think that's going to look really elegant and really sophisticated, but also because it will make me make berries. And if I start, I think if I break the seal on making berries, I'll kind of be able to get in the flow of making berries. But this girl, who's mostly done, I think I'm going to put some funfetti dots in her maybe. I don't know. Thinking about it. Oh, she needs some foam up top. All right, you stay close, girly, because we're going to put some foam scraps in you on your top piece. Well, maybe not right this minute. Okay. Perfect. That's perfect. We didn't go too short or too deep. So I think what's been cool with the sweet treats is I feel like I've been able to show you guys what it looks like when it goes right and what it looks like when it goes wrong. And both of those are really, I think, educational. Sometimes you see it go right and it's like, cool, well, what would I do if it didn't go right? All right, so she is in place, looking good. Rawr. Okay, and as a reminder, I am not painting this cup because I'm going to do her crystal. I'm going to do my crystal mix. This is a mix called Crystal Cave, which if you're a fan of the Arthurian legend, King Arthur's buddy Merlin was imprisoned in a crystal cave by the sea goddess Nimue. So my mom was very into the Arthurian legend. I'm also very into the Arthurian legend. That's a place I can geek out pretty hard. But yeah, if you've ever heard the story of Camelot and you're like, well, dang, Arthur had a wizard buddy who could see the future and he didn't want to warn him that this big thing was coming that would, you know, bring about the downfall of partly things happen the way that, according to the legend, things sort of happen the way they're meant to happen. So even the bad stuff, it's got a kind of kismet, destiny sort of vibe. But also, Merlin was unavailable at the time because he was imprisoned in the crystal cave by Nimue. And some versions of the legend will tell you that, like, Merlin loved Nimue and went willingly to spend that time with her in the crystal cave. And some versions are like, she imprisoned him. He didn't want to be there, but he was. And some versions are a little in the middle, like, this is what had to happen. This is what destiny called for. You know? That Arthur kind of brought balance to the force, if you will, even at the expense of his own personal happiness. Very sad. All right, we're cutting as you can see, the ball is getting more cone-like. Not that it's a snow cone, but it is getting cone shape. And if you were doing this and you wanted to make a different shape, like you're doing like a snowball stand that has a different shape, you can do a different shape. This is just what I think looks iconically snow cone-esque. Though I will say the last maybe 400 times I've ordered a snowball, it's been with my kids, and we've done the thing where you get the smaller size in the next size cup so that it's not messy. I appreciate that a lot. So, but still, I think you're making something visually representative of the fantasy ideal. All right, it's looking more cone-ish, as you can see, but we're going slow and steady. Oh, we're making such a mess, but that's okay. That's part of the experience. I do want to get a coat of glitter on each of these. I especially want to put the coat of crystal glitter on this so I can show you guys alcohol ink sooner rather than later. Because that kit is also, we have a lot of kit restock going. That's kind of what the summer is for, to restock our kits, because it's technically our quote-unquote slow season. Though this year has not been that slow. This year our slow time has still been pretty busy, which is awesome. I'm so glad. I think that short carnival last year and the knowledge that it's even shorter this year, I think people are getting going a little bit more. I know I've said that. I know that I repeat myself a lot in here. I'm sorry, guys. The thoughts just roll around in my brain like marbles in a big punch bowl. And they just roll around and roll around. And when they come up to be said out loud, we do. Shaving it like shaved ice. Just kind of ironic and appropriate and funny. Okay. Cone does not need to be perfectly spherical. It is a snowball, not a geometry class, not spherical, perfectly symmetrical. All right. Pretty cone. Does she need to be a little bit more? I'm being very conservative with her because I got a little gun shy because that last one I cut all wrong and then had to use it for something else. It did not get wasted, but my preference is to use the bigger foam ball. The bigger the styrofoam ball gets, the more expensive it is. So my preference is to use the 4-inch foam balls for snowballs and the smaller ones to make my ice cream scoops, because I have to use a 4-inch to make a snowball, but I can use a 3 or a 2 or a 2.5 to shape my cones, my ice cream cones. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. She looks pretty good. She's a little bit lopsided, a little bit. It's like the part where they cut your hair and then they face you to the mirror and stretch your hair out and try to kind of, y'all know what I'm talking about? How did I get onto the topic of Merlin? Where did that come from? Oh, Crystal Cave. I also kind of wanted to call it The Crystalline Knowledge of You, or Crystalline Knowledge, which is the Stevie Nicks lyric, but Crystal Cave felt a little more. I know this one is taking me a long time to shape because I'm being a little bit more conservative, a little bit more patient, because I do not want to botch it. All right. Good from the front, good from the side, good from the back, good from the side. Perfect. We got there. All together, we got there. I'm going to need to vacuum for 6 years, but we got there. So, beautiful. Now we've got, let me clean up for a sec. Now we've got, oh, my trash bag is full. That was unwise. It's okay. It's okay. That's a problem for later. And this is why my craft room gets so disorganized, because I keep, that's going to be trash. Fanny just sleeping through everything. All right, let me check. None of these scraps, maybe a few of these scraps I'll move to the scrap pile. But for the most part, we shaved that down pretty fine, so it's pretty little. Got a few little scraps. Do we want to, where are we at? 3:30? Okay. Let me put a little bit more work on our snowballs. No, I mean our ice cream scoops. So I'm taking these pieces and I'm crushing them into these sort of, you know, little cube-ish, little cuboidal. All right, let me fill that in. In the crystalline knowledge of you drove me. Y'all know that one? Does anyone know that? Know what I'm talking about? All right. That song is in the Practical Magic soundtrack, which love the Practical Magic soundtrack. Okay. Got some holes that I'm filling in. Just slow and steady, filling in the holes. The nice thing about the ice cream scoops is they are very forgiving. You know, they do not need to be perfectly rounded. And in fact, they look a little bit worse if they're too round. She's pretty round, but that's okay. Actually, I'm like, let me do a little bit more work. I actually just kind of cleaned this surface to glitter, so we're going to put a pin in that for now. Okay, so what we've got now are 1, 2, 3 snowball shoes. Put the short one in the middle. All right, so they all look pretty great to me. She's just a little pointy up top, so I'm just going to blunt her a smidge so she looks a little more. They do not need to match, obviously, but I like the kind of, I don't want it to be too pointy on the top. Not too much of a cone head. All right, so I've got those 3 girls. And I think I asked my boys, I was like, there's 3 snowballs. Let's each pick one. I want to do a rainbow snowball. And the boys said grape snowball and nectar snowball. So, you know, I think that's what we're going to do. A grape, I need to think a little bit about what that would look like. Do I want to... I need to think a little bit about what that would look like. Probably I'll use purple drank, which is a mix of sizes. Yeah, I'll probably do that. So I'll do a grape for Tommy. I'll do a nectar for Maddie, and that'll be very pretty. And I'll do this one a rainbow. So I'm gonna just, today, I know I want the cup to be white. I need to think a little bit about what I want. All right, let me just make both cups white today. And worst case scenario, oh, that's a nicely conditioned brush. Worst case scenario, I decide that I wish the whole thing had been white and want to do the whole thing white, but I don't think that's going to be what I'm going to want to do. Or actually, I think the cup white, the shoe white, and then my allergies have been, I've been working in the garden a lot, and I feel like I have allergies now. Ooh, I should probably try like a Benadryl, but you know, then I'm going to be so sleepy. Sorry, I'm just trying to get some scrap paper out of my scrap paper pile that isn't like... I have some scrap paper. Okay, all right, that's good. That's good. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do the crystal on her. I'm probably going to do 2 coats. I should probably do a coat of white and then the crystal. That's what I'm going to do. Decision made. So this is, do I have a, I have some portioned out glue cups. She's pretty clean. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put the crystal glitter on here. The foam, because it's got all those great little nooks and crannies that make the texture, does take a little bit more TLC. These little sweet treats are coming out so cute. Once we start getting the glitter on and then we start putting the candy and all this stuff, oh, it's going to be so fun. And this will be good because I'll show you 2 different techniques for kind of doing, I'm going to make the rainbow with the alcohol inks here, and I'm going to do the sherbet with actually making the sherbet swirls out of the glitter. So for that, I'll probably want electric banana, hand grenade, and melon ball, probably. I've learned my lesson. I will take a reference image of that rainbow neon sherbet. Okay, that's a great amount. Okay. Let me take a little bit off because I don't want the glue to block off too much of the texture. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, perfect, perfect. I put a nice thick coat of glue because I really want to get all the nooks and crannies, but now with my paintbrush, I'm sort of taking the excess glue off so that I keep the texture. All right, this is Miss May's. I don't have a ton of Miss May's, but I have enough. And she needs to be painted on the bottom, probably. So I'm going to do this cup. I need to decide what color I'm going to do the cup. Probably teal. Probably a teal cup. Yeah, probably a teal cup. I'm going to think about it a little bit, though. I'll probably do a teal cup, and then... what else do I want to do? I'll do the drips, but that'll be later. Thinking. Do I want to put any more white glitter on this shoe? Probably there's going to be more white glitter on the shoe. I think what I'll probably do is rainbow on the snow cone, white. Oh, I guess I can't really do rainbow down here. I could do some rainbow. What do I want to do? I think I'll do the cup teal, the shoe purple and teal. So I didn't need to paint her, but it's fine. I don't mind painting her. So I'll do this teal and this purple and teal probably. So I'll probably it'll match. This will be teal, this will be teal, this will be teal. And then this, oh, actually, I was gonna say I can do this teal, this purple, and this white. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a rainbow panel along the platform. Okay, we got there. We got there, friends. We got it. Everyone go home. We got it. We got it. Y'all, I am loopy. That's all right. That's all right. A little loops never hurt nobody. A little loopies. Okay. Okay, great. And so this is going to be blue. This is going to be blue. This is going to be purple. This is going to be rainbow. This is going to be rainbow. We got it. We did it. Send them home. Okay. So I am going to do these cups. Cup. I'm going to do these cups both in white. And I'm going to do a high cover white, even though I painted, so that it really, like, you know, looks nice and whited out. And then I will probably do a grape colored, the shoe itself will be grape colored. I could put a little cluster of grapes. That would be cute on the grape one. That would be kind of sweet. All right, this is going to be Boeuf Gras, which is my favorite metallic high cover white. I know this is tough. I am putting white glue on top of white paint, and then I'm going to put white glitter on top of the white glue on top of the white paint. I am sorry that it's not more visually assistance providing. And I'm going to be careful not, even though I'm going to do 2 coats, I'm going to be careful not to do bald spots. So these are both just going to be, not just, but these are both going to be white cups with the teal and purple squiggle on them, because I think that's extremely iconic. There are 2 snowball stands in New Orleans, where if you go to the snowball stand, there is a shoe that I made on display at the snowball stand. And that is a fun trivia question. Do you know which 2? Okay. Then I'm probably also going to do the shoe white. Probably. Or maybe I can do the same thing I did on the other one where the platform is white. Let me pour my Boeuf Gras. I don't know if y'all can see how beautifully shiny she is. The other alternative, if you want a metallic white, you could use Snow Job or Snow Plowed, which is, Snow Plowed is Snow Job, but with a very small amount of contaminant in it. So we never want to sell anything that isn't perfect, but you know, it's a nice thrifty way to get some nice bright white if you aren't super picky about it. All right. So that is sparkly white. Oh, a little piece of confetti. Why'd you sneak in there? Who's sneaking in? Oh. Boop, boop. Flick her off. Okay, nice white cup. I know it's hard to see the white glitter on the white paint, on the white glue on the white paint. I am sorry about that, y'all. So I am going to I would like to do the white and put the squiggle on here, and then this can be purple. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to do it to it. And I'll look and see if I have any little grapes. Oh, I have those little bundles of grapes. That'd be cute to make like a little, like trim with little grapes dangling. I might do that. That would be cute. Or I can ask Tommy what he thinks would be cute on there. I think he sometimes gets gummy bears, so maybe we'll do grape and gummy bears. We've got some cute fake gummy bears in the old fake candy stash. All right. Cute, cute, cute. Yeah, I've been doing Snowball shoes since I lived in Memphis. So that's 10 years ago. All right. Beautiful. She's gorge. And it is fun to get to we've started putting colors on things. That is a fun phase to reach. We started actually adding our glitter to our lovely, meticulously done constructs. And I can see here that I still need to paint the bottom. So whoopsie daisy. That's on me. I'm actually going to do something a little naughty on her, technique-wise. Let me see. Is my hand steady enough for this? Ooh. I was going to try to do one coat of glue and 2 different colors of glitter, which is such a no-no, but if I'm really, really careful, I feel like those are famous last words, though, if I'm really, really careful. So maybe better not. Maybe best to be careful. But let me see. I'm like, maybe better not, but also maybe rules were made to be broken. I'm being that's very risky. Okay. Okay. Pretty, pretty. And then I want the shoe itself, let me put a coat of pink on there. Girlie, you are going to need to be so careful. But I just want to see how the pink looks. I just want to get an idea. And so if I miss a spot, I miss a spot. But I want to get kind of the sense of how it's going to look pink. This is very naughty glitter technique. Please do as I say, not as I do. And I feel like if I get punished for my hubris, that's on me. But I want to see what she looks like pink. I want to put the nectar pink all over the shoe. A cherry snowball would also be really pretty, a nice bright red. Or a blue bubble gum. Oh, I only have 3 snowball shoes and so many flavors that would be cute. I do have this one that I'm doing where the snowball is going to be crystal and then I'm going to put bottles of syrup. So I can show you guys what that's going to look like. All right, I have this pastel pink blend. It's a little light. All right, so careful, so careful. I'm trying not to get any pink on my white cup at all. I'm like holding my breath. Extremely naughty glitter behavior. Nobody call the glitter cops on me, please. But I kind of want to see, yeah, that's how I want to do her. That's how she's going to do. That's going to be really cute. That's going to be pretty. It needs to be a stronger pink than this to be like nectar cream. But I wanted to use this as a base because I have a bunch of this kind of light pink. And I'll put some on an ice cream cone probably. Okay. But isn't that going to be pretty? So the cup's going to be white. I don't know if I'm going to put the squiggle on this cup. I might put something else on this cup. But I might put something else on this cup. I'm just politely requesting that a couple of stray flakes of confetti piss off. Respectfully, of course. All right, so that's going to be really cute. And I'll probably put some fuzzy because I feel like Oh, orchid cream vanilla would have been pretty too. Damn, y'all, there's too many, there's too many pretty flavors. Okay, but she's gonna be really beautiful. All pink and dreamy and nectar creamy. And then this one is gonna be teals and purples and a grape flavored snowball for my sweet Tommy boy. I'm trying to remember what he's getting to be that age where I was like, all right, y'all, I'm gonna go hang out with my doodles, my little dudes. And I got off the live and Tommy was like, please don't call us that. And I was like, oh God, I'm sorry, bud. I'm sorry. So he's getting so, and of course, if he tells me to stop, I will stop. But it's like, oh, my little guy. So I was just like, am I allowed to say my sweet little Tommy? All right, so this is the one I was talking about. She is gonna be, so you can see she's crystal all up here. She's gonna be a white cup with the drizzle thing. I had to rebuild her lip because I didn't feel like it was pronounced enough. So it's gonna be all crystal, and then I've got my little, I don't know where I put my little tube. Oh, here. We've got these little bottles. So little, and then I'm gonna put these all around, and they're gonna have the labels, and they're gonna be syrup colored. So that's gonna be really fun. That's gonna be really cute. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to work on that right now. What I want to work on right now, oh, I'm gonna do the white on her since I'm doing her. Since everybody's kind of out and about, I'm gonna go ahead and work on that a little bit. Okay. So carefully getting the lip glittered. Yeah, the cup I used was really smooth all the way up to the top, and I felt like I needed it to have more of like that lip. So I just cut a strip of craft foam and glued it on there. And this I did the same way I did the other one, but instead of encapsulating the top of the shoe and putting the snowball on top, this one I sculpted the snow cone going onto the shoe, if that makes sense. Just a slightly different thing. I do that sometimes with ice cream cones too, and I might show you guys that because somebody asked me how I make the ice cream cone, and I would love to show y'all. I put a few coats of white on her, and I don't want her to get chunky. So I'm trying to be careful to spread her smooth and not let it be too, you know, each time you put a layer of glue over glitter, if you can kind of be mindful about keeping it contained, but it's tough. So each coat of glue and glitter does kind of add its own sort of bumpiness. So I don't want her to be too bumpy. All right, and then you, do y'all hear them? The birds. That's a blue jay. I hope y'all can hear and I don't just seem crazy. That's a blue jay. Blue jays are so aggressive. They get in your bird feeder and they just pick fights. It's like, what? There's enough here for everyone. Stop it. You didn't. I know it's like a survival thing. And I'm like, why can't we all just get along? But like, and they've evolved to like be aggressive so that they survive. But yeah, the blue jays are so aggressive. And it's like, you know, nobody needs that. I have some confetti in this Buff Gras, and normally I switch to very clean glitter for the top, the last layer that I do, so that I'm not like picking confetti out of it. But my Buff Gras it's a little pricier, so I don't want to waste any. So I'm not using Buff Gras for anything other than the last coat. But that means that I got to deal with a little confetti here and there. I am perfectly willing to do that. And a little bit of confetti never hurt anyone. Okay. She looks good. I know she kind of looks like she looked at the start because to y'all, she just looked white and now is still white. Okay. And this bottom platform is also going to have the little squiggle on it. And I'm just going to freehand the squiggle. I'll show y'all when we get there. We get there when we get there. And I need to decide if I want to put, we have this trim at the glitter store that is, at Nola Craft Culture, that is like white with kind of iridescent rainbow, very Lisa Frank rainbow gradient in it. And it's so flippin' pretty. And I think it would probably be perfect for this. But I need to, sometimes it's perfect in your mind and it doesn't shape up that way when you actually put it together. So I'm sure that on camera, this just looks like white on white and y'all can't see the difference. When she's further along, I'll take some proper photos, but y'all got to trust me. I know it's subtle, but I think it's going to be really pretty. There she is. And she, because I did the bottom, today's a naughty day. I'm breaking some rules. Usually I do not touch up glue over wet glue, but today we're being a little naughty. Oh, hey, honey. Gosh, she looks so comfy. I would take a picture and show her to y'all, but I'm embarrassed of the state of my craft room, so y'all just have to imagine a very cute cat curled up on a big cloth bag. Okay. 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 That's pretty close to dry. If I pop her in the dehydrator, let me go ahead, and since I have to sit her on her side anyway to fit her in the dehydrator, I appreciate y'all bearing with me. I know this week was multiple months, this session of this collection of shoes. The sweet treats have been very, you know, jump around. It's very non-linear, shall we say. She needed more conditioning. Sometimes I condition perfect and sometimes I don't. All right, I put a tiny little bit of white paint in this cup because I've got to sit her on her side anyway to dry the rest of the way in the dehydrator. So I'm going to real quick paint her undercarriage, as we say in my house. There have been a bunch of studies that like you're supposed to use the proper technical terms with your kids for their body parts. And that like is a good defense. You know, that's just, and so we use proper terms, but I do say undercarriage when I'm talking about just like, you know, make sure you wash your undercarriage. Sorry if that's TMI, but you know, hashtag boy mom. So I'm going to paint her undercarriage, everything down below. She looks good. Okay. So now she's painted white. Great. Going to put her into the dehydrator to dry the rest of the way, and then we will do the crystal. I'm like, I wonder what Tommy would and would not be comfortable with me talking about. That's definitely not, but that's not Tommy specifically. That's my parenting in general. Okay, what next? I think what I want to do now, oh, she needs paint underneath her too. Come on back. Come on back. I'm going to paint her bottom as well. And then she's going to be neon. She's going to be neon and sherbet. So that one will be, that'll be fun. I know you hear the birds, but you're too lazy to do anything about it. But also you can't really do anything from inside. It is so funny. All the birds in the tree trying to eat my figs. Fanny just sits there like, Like if she focuses hard enough, she can jump through the window. Which I guess you can't just turn off the instincts. You can't. Okay. And we'll do a few little touch-ups in there. And I need to do another coat of glitter on the cone as well, so I'm not worried about cutting in too precisely there. And then I can see some spots inside the strap that I missed a little, so let me get them, or at least, you know, start to get them. This one, because I kept the knot on her, she's got like strap, you know, her design is she's got all these like straps that are knotted together. I kept that because I thought it was cool, but it is a little bit more work. That's okay though. Cool things are work sometimes. We are not scared to do hard work. Not in this craft house. Trying to see who inside the strap needs a little more paint. Oh, I wonder if I could put the hot rainbow marabou on top of her. That would be pretty cute. I'll see if it goes with the colors. If not, I could just put like hot pink or hot. I'll have to match it up. I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna take a reference image of Rainbow Sherbet. I'm gonna match the colors and then I'm gonna decide what feathers go with it. And that's how we're gonna roll out. All right, she's painted. That's all that she needs today. I'm gonna check one more time for the Muses foam letters because her cone needs another coat of Snickerdoodle. And then we're gonna do the Rainbow Sherbet, and then we're gonna do the neons on her, the body of the shoe, the foot part of the shoe. I guess it's all the foot part. That's ridiculous. The front part of the shoe. And yeah, that's where she's headed. And we'll put some cute whipped cream and some little fake candy on her, and she'll be adorable. Okay, oh, this is really pretty. I'm really liking the pink and the white. Anyway. Okay, you sit there. Who's next? Ah, importante. I am going to do her yellow. I've got a little bit of my provolone from the Muffalata kit that is going to restock. I've named like 6 kits in this month that I'm like, they're about to restock, I promise. But we're doing our best. But I am going to use my last little bit of provolone to make this cake a yellow cake. And then we're going to play with frosting. So that's something really fun to look forward to. In the next couple of sessions, we'll be able to play with alcohol ink to make our rainbow snowball. That's going to be so cool. And we're going to frost some stuff, put some fake frosting and some fake icing, and I'm gonna make some fake frosting leaves, and we'll do some little fake frosting roses. It's gonna be very cute, very fun, and I love making fake food out of glitter. That is definitely high on my list of activities that put a smile on my face. Okay. So I'm trying to get the nooks and crannies on the sponge. I'm getting it all the way around. Even though this is going to be filled in the middle, I'm still trying to get it because if there's a bald spot, I don't want to be aggravated by it. Okay. Cake, cake, cake. Glue, glue, glue. Not a terrific recipe in the real world, but a pretty fun one in here. And then I've got... what am I going to do with you? I don't know yet what I'm going to do with you. Let's just, you know, sometimes you don't see the whole ladder. You just got to take the first step or whatever the quote is. So I'm still not 100% sure what I'm going to do with you, but I'm going to paint your shoe part light pink. Okay. All right. I'm going over it several times because I really want to get the nooks and crannies. And the sponge, as you might imagine, soaks up glue because glue, this is a water-based glue and sponges soak up water. So, you know, You gotta be judicious and thorough. Okay. Okay, beautiful, 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 beautiful. She is glued up. We're gonna put our provolone glitter. And this will probably kill this whole little jar, but that's all right. It's okay. We're using up our glitter, but that's what it's for. Okay. That being said, I want to make sure I don't run out. Though if I do, I can mix a little white in and it'll be fine. It'll all even out. Okay, perfect. It looks like we had the perfect amount and it's looking perfect. Everywhere I still see white glue. And I am, for good measure, going to give this a little once over with some white glitter just to make sure I didn't miss any spots, because I'm having to be a little careful with my provolone. So she looks very good. So I'm not too worried about it. I ain't too worried about it. You know, I'm especially paying attention to the spots that I know will show on the very edges. And everything else is a little bit more second thought. A little bit more. Okay. Shiny yellow cake. A little bit gluey in the front. That's right. The glue was just a little thick in a few spots there, and I was worried I would lose the texture of the sponge. Which, it's not a big deal if you lose that in some spots. Cakes will, I'm sure, have bits that are a little more porous than others. All right, yellow cake glittered up. You go over there. You go over there. All right, yellow cake all glittered up. We can frost her next time, probably. Well, I should probably do the glitter on this part. She's going to be Chantilly, so I think I'm going to do this. I know I'm doing so much pastel pink. Do I want to do her in white? I might want to just do her in white. Okay, that's a decision we can make next time. But I am going to try to... I crept up a little, thinking I would go over it in like pink. But I might actually go over it in white, so I'm going to clean that up a smidge. No problem. Okay, yellow cake, all done. I'm going to set that where it can dry. Who's left? All right. What are we going to do with you, my problem child? I think I'm going to do light pink on you because I've got plenty of it, and I think it'll vibe just fine with everybody else. We could do light yellow, but I did kind of just use the last of my light yellow, and I think it'll, and the ice cream cone is probably going to be light yellow. I'm going to do like a French vanilla probably on her. So let's just do light pink, easy peasy. We know it'll go with everything. And then when we refrost her with some big sparkly white frosting, hopefully it's all going to come together. I think it will. I think it will. Some of them take a little longer to come together than others, but you know. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I think that vibes with everyone just fine. I might lighten it up even a little bit more for the next coat so that it really goes with all the lightness, but I do not have any problem with that at all. And I know that's not like a ringing endorsement. I don't have any problem with that at all, but this one has been sort of fighting me on the color scheme. So I think kind of the pastel pink works. Got to be careful not to touch her there. I'll sit her upside down so she can dry. All right, who's next? Okay. What do you need? You need the rest of your ice cream scoop shaped and then to be glittered French vanilla. So I don't know that I'm going to do that with you right now. I will touch up your roses a little bit, and then I will finish your scoop. The roses have so many nooks and crannies, so I'm always needing to touch them up 40,000 times, but it's worth it because then I didn't have to pipe these frosting roses. That would have been, I mean, if that appeals to you, I'm not yucking your yum, but I personally prefer to just buy the foam roses and pretend that they're made out of frosting. All right, there it is. My little flames look good. My little yellow glitter flames. She looks great. So all she needs is this finished up. So let me put a little bit more work onto that. Does anyone need, before I put, all right, sorry about that, guys. All right, before we've gone over an hour, so that's awesome. I do want to work on her a little bit, but I don't want to I need to clean up my space a little bit before I get a ton of little foam bits every which where. And she is going to take a little finesse because I'm doing a second scoop, so I don't want to totally lose my bottom scoop. So that, I think, is going to be a task for another day. Oh, that's what she needs. She needs her frosting. Does she need a touch up on her frosting, or are we just going to glitter her? Let me glitter her and see. Put a little love in your heart. All right, and then I'm going to call it for today, but today was awesome. We made progress on, cool. We made progress on 3 snowballs, 1 ice cream cone. Oh, I wanted to put the top coat. Let me do that. Let me do that real quick. Let me go. Let's go. Okay. We're good. This girl should be ready for us. Are you ready for us, girlie? Yes. All right. So we are pushing it a little bit because this isn't like bone dry, but I do want to get my Crystal Cave on here so that I can show you guys what the alcohol ink looks like on top of Crystal Cave to make a rainbow snowball. Something to look forward to when that kit restocks. So I put 1 coat of Ultrafine. I used Miss May's. You could use any crystal Ultrafine that appealed to you. You could use Spirit Queen. You could use Miss May. You could use Invisible Jet. It doesn't really have as much sparkle as I would probably want this to have. All right, so I've put a coat of glue on top of my dry Miss May's, and now I'm going to put Crystal Cave, which hopefully you guys can see even in my crummy lighting in here. Hopefully you can see that looks like a nice crushed ice texture. And it's a mix of sizes, so you do not have to treat it as a confetti. You can use it by itself, but you could use it as a confetti if you wanted it a little bit less, you know, chunky, but I think chunky works for a snowball. Isn't that pretty? And then I'm going to do the same thing on this bottom platform so that I can do the same rainbow thing to her. That's going to be really cute. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a very fun session for us to have. Yes. Yes. Okay. Here we go. Pretty, chunky, icy, frosty. Makes me feel cooled off just looking at it. That's going to be so fun. When we do the rainbow on this and the rainbow on this, that is going to be so much fun, guys. We're going to have a ball when we do that. And then we'll paint all the other stuff. Or not paint, we'll glitter all the other stuff. Oh, that's going to be fun. All right, y'all. This was a terrific session. We got glitter on our 3 snowballs, our kind of bonus snowball extra girl who, you know, she's kind of a dark horse because I haven't really been working on her on the live, so she's a little bit different. But we got 3 snowballs that are like properly part of the marathon. We got the 3 snowballs, some glitter on those. We got some glitter on. We finished painting that snow cone that is going to be, not snow cone, that ice cream that's going to be a scoop of rainbow sherbet. So that's coming along. She's coming along. She's a different kettle of fish. And then we got, everybody's in a weird position because they got glittered in weird, glittered in weird spots. So some of them are upside down and some of them are hanging on stuff. But we've got 3 birthday cakes, 1 ice cream cone, 3 proper 3 birthday cakes, where it's the cake in the front and the cone in the back. Business in the front, party in the back. Cake in the front, cone in the back. 2 scoops, rainbow cake, chantilly cake with French vanilla. Those 3. We've got 3 snowballs, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we've got an ice cream and a cake cone who's going to be rainbow sherbet. And then we've technically got our dark horse snow cone, but she doesn't really count. We've really got 7. 7 sweet treats going, and we are doing amazing on them. I did not do any progress on my baskets, but I do want to show y'all kind of how it's so hard to see in the light. It's very subtle, but it creates the texture of glitter. Oh, there, you can see it if I do that. It creates the texture of glitter, but it clear coats. So you get high visibility of what's underneath it, but you still get, oh, that one looks great. Let me show y'all her. Okay. You get the texture and the coloration and all the detail of whatever's underneath, but it looks like it's been rendered in glitter, because that clear coat makes the glitter texture on top. And I really love that for the baskets. So those are in progress. Those, unfortunately, the next thing those are going to need is a bunch of painting, because I do want to do them in pastel colors. And the other thing they're really going to need is progress on the berries. I just got to put on my big girl pants and do it. Maybe I will set myself a little berry goal. And if I hit my goal, I can have, you know, the fun stuff like the alcohol ink and the fake frosting and the fake candy. So maybe I'll try to, you know, be a toddler, treat myself like a toddler and be like, if you eat your veggies, you can have your dessert, which is not what you actually do with a child, or not anymore. That's not the conventional wisdom. Anyway, awesome session. Great progress. I'm feeling really good about it. Thank you all, as always, for joining me. Hoping everybody's July is shaking out nicely, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.